ceremony and got our bricks laid down in Jordan Hare Stadium. So I was there for that. Got to see a lot of my old teammates. I come back to a game or two per year, depending on if it's a night game. If I get on the road early Saturday morning, to get up in time, to get to the game. So I get back often. Family has a lake house up on Lake Martin, so we get up there numerous times per year, mainly in the summertime when going to the lake or whatnot. So I get up, back up to Auburn. A lot of family in Alabama, so I get up there as much as I can, and I usually do go to a couple games per year. So I love my Auburn Tigers. I'm gonna root for them to the day I die, and I try to get there as much as I can.
Do you believe that Gus Malzahn is on a bit of a hot seat this year, or do you think that last year was somewhat of a hiccup and they'll get back on the right track?
People talk hot seats. I think at the end of the day, if you don't win the SEC, then there may be change. But, we're speaking of a coach who won a national title as offensive coordinator, went to a national title. And, obviously we're seconds away from winning that as a head coach. Produced great players. For the most part, kept the program clean. Kids are graduating. Last year wasn't a great year. We had our troubles, mainly with the quarterback position. But I think if we solidify the quarterback position with the playmakers that we have on the outside and the offensive line that we have coming back with Javon Robinson and some of the other backs, and I'm hoping a swarming defense from what it looks on paper, to put that all together, I'm predicting a good year, and nobody will ever, or not say ever, but we won't even be talking about a hot seat. We'll always be talking about what recruits we're getting and getting prepared for the following year with Gus Malzahn as our head coach. So, after any bad year in the SEC, you could say, yeah, coach is going to be on the hot seat, because you can't lose, 6-7 games at a school like Auburn and nobody talk about it, because you are Auburn University, and that's our standards are high. So if that would happen at Auburn, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, those things happen. You don't hear that when you're, speaking of Kentucky or Missouri or even South Carolina. Even South Carolina, I would say. But we're Auburn University, and if you don't have a good year, people are going to talk. But at the end of the day, Gus is a great coach, and I think we'll get this thing figured out this year.
Well, Jairus, thanks so much for being with us this evening. We really do appreciate it. Hope to have you on again, and best of luck to you in Tampa Catholic this year, okay?
All right, thank you. War Eagle.
All right, buddy. That was Jairus McIntyre, of course, former player for the Auburn University Tigers and NFL player for quite some time, and now he's a coach down at Tampa Catholic. He's got a wide receiver that's an alum of Tampa Catholic coming to Auburn this year, and Devin Barrett, who just committed to the Tigers. He'll be coaching him this season as well. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Mayoral candidate Mark Lamborn is a civically active Alexander City native and 30-year business owner. Lamborn understands Alex City and what must be done to provide residents with quality municipal services in an efficient and courteous manner, and to enhance quality of life through planning and visionary leadership. Mark Lamborn has a vision for Alexander City to be a world-class, vibrant, and progressive city where citizens feel safe, enjoy their neighborhoods, and have access to city government. Mark Lamborn, the right man at the right time for a step in the right direction.
For over 60 years, people in East Central Alabama have relied on the team at Jackson Refrigeration for the highest standards in heating and air installation and service. Now they've expanded into A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, and you can still count on their reputation to make your comfort their priority with quality Goodman products with the best warranty in the industry. Whether it's new construction or a complete unit change, Jackson Refrigeration and A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, the go-to team for over 60 years, where your comfort is our priority.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Karen Chanel. I specialize in helping families and individuals like yourself in the Alexander City and Lake Martin communities. With over 20 years experience with State Farm and a dynamic team of licensed professionals, I am committed to helping you manage the risk of everyday life. And we not only consider it an honor, but a privilege to assist you in meeting your insurance and financial services needs. I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Luke Robinson back with you now. And, you know, one thing that I really respect about a lot of people in this industry, because I do it myself, is they get their hands in a lot of different programs and they're still able to pull it off. I don't know if I am, but I know this guy can. Mr. Drew DeArmond, who has several shows that he's a part of when it comes to Alabama and Alabama sports in general. Talking Ball out of 97.7 in the Huntsville area. He's a contributor to Tider Insider. He also does a podcast and radio show called BAM's Radio. It's on Thursdays from 7 to 9. Does a fantastic job with just a plethora of hosts, all representing Alabama, and he knows exactly what he's talking about. Drew, how are you tonight, buddy?
Good, Luke. It's an honor to be on the Sports Blitz for the first time. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I'm sorry it's taken us so long, to be honest with you. I mean, you're a guy that knows his stuff, and we really appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about Alabama opening camp here very shortly. It's getting really exciting, and what are you most looking forward to? Let's throw the quarterback race out of it. We'll address that individually a little bit later on. But other than quarterback, what are you most looking forward to seeing out of camp?
I'm really looking forward, honestly, Luke, to the offensive line. And I want to see if Jonah Williams, who's, from what I understand, now up to 305 pounds, can he continue on the path of spring practice and take over the job at right tackle and book in Cam Robinson. If he's as good as I believe and what I've been told by the people I talk with close to the program, it could be Alabama's best bookend tackles, of the Nick Saban era. I know he's should be just finishing, going to his prom. He's only 18 years of age, really, but I thought he was the best player in the 2016 recruiting class. I think he's a freak of nature. And I want to see Lester Cotton. I thought he was, in the 2015 class, the best offensive lineman in the country. Now he's looking to try to take over at left guard. And I want to see if Ross Pierce-Baker can, I think, replace the most, underappreciated player on that Alabama football team, and that's Ryan Kelly, who was a 3-year starter. I remember when Barrett Jones graduated in 2012, he said,
Ryan Kelly's going to take over for me, and he's going to be better than I was. And he was very prophetic. Ryan Kelly drafted as high as any center's been drafted in a long time, and Peter King this week giving him some buzz for perhaps Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Indianapolis Colts. And I think he really helped calm the quarterbacks for the last couple of years, Blake Stem, and then of course, Jake Coker. He was a great leader. I just say he's one of my all-time favorite guys, and I just want to see how that O-line comes together. And of course, Shank Taylor, will he be out for the first practice out on the field, or will he continue to be indefinitely suspended? Brandon Kennedy and Bradley Bozeman, could that open the door for them to compete at right guard?
Yeah, I think that center position is very, very intriguing and is so important and so unheralded. I think you're absolutely dead on with that. And Ryan Kelly, we'll get a chance to see him Sunday in the Hall of Fame game as the Colts take on the Packers. So we'll be looking forward to seeing Ryan Kelly give snaps to Mr. Luck. That will be something to behold. I think that he could have a very long career in the NFL. The defensive line, that's been a staple for Alabama for a long time now. Some people are mildly concerned about the depth along that front, but it sounds like Raekwon Davis will be eligible to play this year now. This is a guy that I saw at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. I'm about 6'5", about 230, and I could have easily hidden behind this character. He is a monstrous human being. I think he may come in and play right away.
Luke, I think I was told today if he's eligible, that he will be in the 2 deep. He's very raw, but he's already shown a lot of improvement through his senior season and been hard to handle when he got to Alabama. And I can tell you, he measured when he got there in late May, Luke, in early June, 6'7", 331 pounds, and did not look fat at all. And I know you can attest to that.
Yeah, he's a huge human being. I mean, actually, I shook his hand, and his fingertips went beyond my wrist. It was really intimidating. He is just a really, really big guy. The wide receiving core, I just saw on SEC Network where they were ranking the wide receiving core throughout the SEC, and they ranked Alabama's number 1. I agree with them, but I think there's a lot of pressure on this group. You also are taking into account that they're going to have somebody capable throwing them the ball. So I want you to talk about the wide receivers and then lead that into where you think the quarterback battle ultimately ends.
Well, Luke, I got to say, it is the deepest wide receiver group. When you think about the top 5 guys, we know how good Calvin Ridley is. He was the best freshman wide receiver in college football last year. Had an impact like Amari Cooper and Julio Jones. He was an electric performer. I thought Ardarius Stewart was as improved as any kid on the team by the end of the season. He completely bought into what he was doing. He stopped dropping the football. He was a devastating blocker. He did the little things. Then you have Robert Foster, who was really starting to develop a rapport with Jake Coker as the number 1 guy before he tore his rotator cuff against Ole Miss. You know, I've been told by someone who spoke to one of the great wide receivers, Julio Jones in Alabama history, that he believes Robert Foster can be the best wide receiver on the football team. And then you take into account, as you continue, Garrick Dieter has been very impressive since he reported in late May after graduating from Bowling Green as a graduate transfer. Richard Mullaney was a very valuable role player last year, Luke, and I think this guy can be a bigger, stronger, faster Richard Mullaney, who really brought a lot of things to the table. And then Cameron Sims. He was having an outstanding spring before his ACL tear last year. He came back during the last season, was affected by it. It kind of reminded me of Dante Hightower. Really looks much better this past spring, and I think he's coming into his own. It's just a very deep group, and I think then you take into account O.J. Howard and his breakout game. There's playmakers all over the field, and I just think whoever the quarterback is, and I think Cooper Bateman has a slight lead right now, but if I had to, I'm still aboard the Blake Barnett train. I think he can win this job. From speaking with someone close to him, he really he had kind of an epiphany near the end of the spring. His first 2 scrimmages weren't very good. He was solid on A-Day. He's been living in the film room. As you can see, have seen on Twitter, he's up to 216 pounds. He's really grinding quite a bit. He worked again with George Whitfield. I think he and Jalen Hurts are the future. Jalen Hurts is a dynamic athlete. The best athlete at the QB position in many a moon, was very impressive as a 17-year-old freshman. My only doubt with him is, one, Nick Saban's never played a true freshman at QB, but there's always a first time. But how in 4 months has he been able to learn the scheme? You know, Blake Barnett has been there over a year and should know the offense in and out by now. Jalen Hurts, we'll have to see what kind of progress he has made from a standpoint of his mental retention. I know he's been a warrior in the weight room and worked really hard, but I really think those two are going to battle hard with Cooper Bateman. I still believe the future, and the future being this season, is with Jalen Hurts and Blake Barnett. I'm going with Barnett. I just think right now David Cornwell doesn't bring the athleticism that the other three do, and I think that athleticism is going to be needed because of some inexperience in the offensive line, especially in that opener against USC, which is a very dangerous game, and then playing Ole Miss early by week 3.
Well, Drew, a couple of really quick hitters, real quick, because we're about to have to go, but I wanted to get your take on the AP Top 100 programs that was released where Alabama came out number 4. Did you feel like they should have been higher, maybe a little lower? And also Trent Richardson being released by the Baltimore Ravens. I hope this isn't his last shot, but it sounds like it may be.
Well, with Trent Richardson, first of all, I hope it's not his last shot, but many believed it was. It's just been really a stunning fall after a very solid rookie year, but it's a cautionary tale. You know, you haven't arrived after 1 year in the NFL. It stands for not for long. You've got to make sure you've got good people around you that are trying to take care of you and not take advantage of you. And I think that's what happened with Trent. He had too many people pulling at him. I think he got a little heavy. I think he kind of lost focus. And sometimes in the NFL, it's tough to get your traction back, especially when it's a league where word spreads quickly. And it's been very disappointing. I thought the Raiders would be somewhere where he could really bounce back. That didn't work out. Hopefully he'll get another shot, but it doesn't look great. I agree with you, Luke. And then that poll by the Associated Press, whatever formula they use, Alabama is number 1. And I'm sorry, you have to go by the hardware, not number 1 in the AP. You got to go by national championships, okay? And Alabama has won many more than Ohio State. It's been a consistent program nationally since 1920. Ohio State is a very good program, but and then so is Oklahoma. I can see Oklahoma in the top 5, and Notre Dame as well. Even though I would have to say Notre Dame needs to be number 5 because they haven't done anything since 1988. But to me, I think Southern California should be up there higher than they were. I think you could make an argument that they're playing in Dallas to start this season, but then when you go back and look through the annals of time, Alabama should be number 1 overall and Southern Cal number 2 in college football because the bottom line is hardware, and Alabama's won more of it, and the run they've been on in the last 7 years is unprecedented in college football history. There's just no doubt about it.
Well, Drew, I knew you'd have an opinionated take on it, and I'm glad I let you say it all, brother. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. We'll have you on again soon, okay?
I really appreciate being on the Sportz Blitz. Thank you, Luke, for having me.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
That was Drew Darman. Man, he brings the heat every time he comes on any program. I've heard him on several other stations, and he does a fantastic job. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
CTE Small Engines next to Tigertown and Opelika is East Alabama's full lawn and land equipment supercenter. CTE Small Engines offers full mower lines from Husqvarna to Toro, whether it's the Toro Zero Turn MX 5000 or the great line of tough Husqvarna push mowers. CTE has the region's best prices and selection. CTE offers a full line of Echo to make taming your lawn a breeze. And best of all, CTE has a full service department for warranty work. CTE Small Engine in Opelika, your lawn's ultimate sales and service center.
Welcome to Baumhauer's, food fans.
It's game on, starting with a cup of homemade gumbo and cold beer on tap from our lively bar, coupled with a mouth-watering top-choice steak.
Oh, man, always fresh, always popular, hot Bama Brown and Alabama wild shrimp hot off the grill. That'll be tough to beat.
If you haven't been to Baumhauer's lately, you're really missing out on all the action.
Baumhauer's, legendary food, legendary fun.
Now's the time to make a splash during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Get incredible summer savings on our entire inventory. Save over $10,000 on a great selection of new 2016 Ram trucks. Thinking about a Jeep? Bice has the Lake Martin area's largest selection of Jeep Renegades, Patriots, Compass, Cherokees, and Grand Cherokees, all priced to move.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Harbor Point Ship Store has everything to make your day on the lake more enjoyable. Come on out to the biggest marina on the water, stocked with name brands like O'Brien wakeboards, Airhead tubes, and Costa Del Mar sunglasses. Stop by for lunch. They have pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and more. Get your gas, groceries, snacks, ice, and everything you need for a fun day on the lake. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned boat? Harbor Point has the best selection around of everyone's favorite Crest pontoons and Four Winds boats. Harbor Point also has a great selection of pre-owned boats. Come on out and take a look at Harbor Point, Marina Point Road in Dadeville. Get to the point.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Our gaggle of guests continue. We had Coach Jairus McIntyre from Tampa Catholic, former Auburn player, on just a minute ago. Had Drew Darmond from 97.7 in Huntsville talking ball, and had him on just a second ago. Now we got Jimmy Stein on. He just keeps on rolling. Jimmy, how you doing tonight?
Good, Luke. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. First and foremost, I want you to tell everybody about your new endeavor. You start a new program of your own tomorrow on WNSP down in Mobile.
That's right. Following in your footsteps. Now I'm gonna be a host myself on a show called Inside the Tide, WNSP 105.5 in Mobile. Co-host Austin Henson, who's a former Alabama golfer, and Austin and I will have a show every Wednesday at 7 to just discuss everything going on with Alabama football and Alabama football recruiting, and hopefully the show will go year-round, and we'll cover all the sports year-round. But obviously this time of the year, the focus will be on football and to some extent on football recruiting.
Is it going to be a caller-driven show, or are you guys going to have guests, or how's that going to work?
Actually, no. The initial format plan that Austin and I and the folks at WNSP have come up with is that initially we won't be taking callers. However, WNSP has an app, and people that have downloaded the app can send questions or comments to the app while we're on the air, and we can address questions that way. But we'll have a guest each week, too. Aaron Suttles from the Tuscaloosa News and TideSports.com will be our first guest, and we plan to have one guest every week that's close to the program and can report on what they know week to week throughout the season.
Very cool. Are you guys going to set up a Twitter account or anything, or maybe a Facebook page so people can follow along?
Yeah, there will be a Facebook page, and Inside the Tide Facebook page should be out probably just in the next few days. Inside the Tide Facebook, and of course, anyone that would like to can follow me on Twitter, same Twitter account, @LJSLaw.
How is Inside the Tide, that name not taken before? How is that possible? That sounds that rolls off the tongue so nicely. It rhymes and everything. How is that not taken?
In typical LJS Law fashion, I don't even think I was present when it was came up. Somebody just says, "How's Inside the Tide?" I guess, all right.
You know, Jimmy, I think that way back when, before we started our podcast at Talking Tuscaloosa, that Inside the Tide was one of the names we thought of, and we ended up going with Talking Tuscaloosa. Now, that just hit me. Did you rip us off?
I'm not ripping my own self off. I have a copyright infringement case against myself. Thankfully, I'm judgment proof.
Yeah, and you're a lawyer, so you can get rich both ways with it. I like it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about recruiting. Alabama had a big week this past week. Big week in terms of quantity. In terms of quality star-wise, I think some fans may have been a little let down. However, I think the coaching staff targeted some guys that aren't necessarily high up on the rankings in terms of 24/7 or ESPN, but a kid like Hunter Brandon out of Coleman, for instance, this is somebody the staff targeted and absolutely loved, and they offered him on the spot at camp.
Well, the camp offer, one thing about that is it's hard to get a better evaluation tool than the kid working out for you directly under your nose in camp. I believe you'd attended camp several times and not just this season, so they knew him well, and they decided he was the guy they wanted. Coaches are serious when they say they don't really recruit by the star system, whether it's on Rivals or Scout or 24/7. They make their own evaluations, and then that's the guy they wanted. I think any Alabama fan by this point should fully realize that Alabama's pretty good at getting who they want. They just decided this is the kid they want, and Coach Saban is usually right about this stuff. I think another kid that fits the description that you're talking about, Luke, is Kedrick James, a tight end from Waco, Texas. He's not rated super highly himself by the services, but Alabama runs a unique offense in this day and age. Alabama doesn't spread it out and throw it east and west 40, 50 times a game. Alabama likes to run the football. They like to pound it between the tackles, and they like to run outside the tackles. And to do that effectively, you need a tight end playing the wide position who can really seal off that edge and get it blocked like Michael Williams did so many years for Alabama under Nick. And so they went and got this tight end, and Texas is just a good fit in their offense, and it didn't matter to them whether he was 5 stars, 8 stars, or 2 stars.
Well, a guy that we feel like is very highly recruited and does have a lot of stars is Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver out of the Miami area. He's following in the footsteps of Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley, and I absolutely love this guy's highlight tape. You said it on the podcast earlier. His whole tape is a highlight tape. I mean, sometimes you get a highlight tape and you just see a kid blocking or doing something kind of nondescript. This guy is a work of art when it comes to catching the football.
Truly amazing every now and then. The Nick Saban era has just been unbelievable for Alabama fans, and really every now and then you just take a step back and look at things. Who would have thought, going back to 2003 or even 2001 or 1995 or 96, who would have thought that Alabama would completely dominate the wide receiver market in South Florida?
Amazing.
I mean, for years. That's crazy, isn't it? Amari, Calvin, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, these kids for years, for decades, they were Miami Hurricanes. Sometimes they were Florida State Seminoles. But now, if you're a fantastic wide receiver prospect in South Florida, Alabama's probably number one on your list. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it really is. And but it's a very exciting time, because if Jerry Jeudy is half as good as Calvin Ridley or Amari Cooper, I think Alabama fans would be very excited. Quarterback, everybody's talking about it. Where do you think it ultimately ends up? Not necessarily with USC, but let's say game 6 or 7 of the season.
Well, I think Alabama fans ought to hope. I think the real nightmare, Luke, is that it's not settled by game 5, 6, and 7. That's the real nightmare. I don't think the nightmare is it's this guy or that guy. The real nightmare is there's no one, because no one has stepped up and no one has played well in the games. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, gosh, that's sort of the nightmare scenario. I think what's going to happen is, I think camp begins Thursday. In the first week or so, they're likely to identify the challenger to Cooper Bateman. I think Cooper sort of won something in the spring. I think Cooper won the favorites role, and someone's going to have to beat Cooper out. I think they'll take a long look at Blake Barnett and Jalen Hurts in particular and determine which one of them is more game ready. Who's ready to play in a game, Blake or Jalen? And the winner of that takes on Cooper. Now that's really my thinking and not the staff's thinking, but I believe that's the way it's going to play out. And then once the USC game rolls around, the question is, has Cooper separated himself from the challenger and he's just the quarterback against USC, or are they going to have to take a look at two guys in the USC game, Cooper and the challenger, be it Jalen or Blake? I think Cornwell is the guy that right now is sort of a distant fourth.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I saw earlier on the SEC network where Alabama's wide receiving core was ranked number 1 in the conference, and some people think it's number 1 in the country. But none of that's going to matter if they don't have somebody that can get the ball to them, right?
That's right. Well, it all starts at quarterback, and that's just it's the one position on the field where to win big, maybe you don't have to be great, but you can't be bad. You can't be bad and win at quarterback. It doesn't matter what the rest of doesn't matter if you can run the ball, play defense. You can't be bad at quarterback and win a lot of games. And I think to some extent fans underrate the game manager types, the guys that maybe they're not putting the team on their shoulders and winning the game on their right arms, but they keep the car between the ditches, and not every guy can do that. So hopefully one will emerge, and I think odds are Cooper Bateman starts the USC game, but we got 4 weeks of camp to figure all that out.
Back to recruiting one quick time. Jacoby Stevens, a safety prospect out of Tennessee. He's going to be deciding soon. Most people think it's Alabama or LSU with the Tigers holding the edge. What do you think?
Probably say LSU over Alabama, but I am not super confident about that. I say it's more like the way I feel is maybe 55% chance LSU, 45% Alabama. I think this might be tighter than those just assuming he's signing with LSU, but he grew up in Louisiana and has been projected to sign with LSU really from the beginning, and very certainly, even though at one point he was even committed to LSU, I believe, at one point. So LSU, but this is tight. This could really go either way.
Well, Jimmy, thanks so much for being on with us. We cut a podcast earlier today, and hopefully that'll be out tomorrow. And then, of course, your big debut tomorrow night on WNSP. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you so much, Luke. Thanks.
Jimmy Stein from Inside the Tide. It'll be starting tomorrow on 105.5 FM out of Mobile. It's one of the more famous stations in the state of Alabama, all sports all the time. Thanks so much to Jimmy Stein for being on with us. Look forward to your show tomorrow, buddy. We will be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
Hi, I'm Sydney LaRue, a member of the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team. I'm excited to partner with Nesquik to spread the word about the proper nutrition after a workout or game. Research suggests that low-fat chocolate milk, like Nesquik, contains the ideal mix of carbohydrates to protein that can help refuel and restore exhausted muscles. That's why I refuel my body with Nesquik after tough games and practices. Refuel with Nesquik.
Refuel with Nesquik, a proud supporter of Alabama high school athletics.
Do you know that C&T Electric offers a home protection plan for your electrical system? Are you wondering what this is or why you need one? Just like your heating, cooling, and plumbing systems, your electrical system needs to be maintained also. With C&T Electric's home protection plan, you receive annual electrical safety inspections, priority service when you call, discounts on all electrical services, and the dispatch fee is waived on all calls. Call C&T Electric at 256-234-0007 today.
Over the years, S&S Tire's grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Alex City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Oh, let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. If you've been injured in an auto accident, don't choose an attorney simply because they have flashy television commercials and tons of billboards. Call a local attorney who can give your case the personal attention it needs and deserves. For over 20 years, I've handled hundreds of auto accidents, and I take pride in the personal service we provide and the results we obtain for our clients. So if you've been injured, give me a call today and put our team to work for you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. Coming up at the end of the program, we have 2 of the Media Day teams from this area that'll be coming up that we filmed last week. Looking forward to that. You just had 3 great interviews. Had Jairus McIntyre, of course. You had Drew, and then you had Jimmy Stein. So a lot of Alabama talk. There are just some updates on Auburn. Obviously, Tom Glavin's son commits to Auburn today to play baseball. So, again, good bloodlines there, obviously. Just because you have a father that was successful doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be, but obviously a top prospect signs with or commits to Auburn. So we'll see how that works out. On some somber news, Trey Mason, man, I don't really know what's going on there. Looked to be in great shape as far as, his pro contract and what he was doing, and over the last couple of months has been having some weird issues go on in Florida,
mental problems,
and mental issues, and
he
wonder now he's missing, so nobody knows where he is.
Now he didn't report to camp, and they don't know where he is, or at least they didn't before the show started. And he was telling his mom things like, "I'm going to call the White House and report this and do this." I mean, when you start talking like that, it's just something just got to him. I don't know. It's strange to see Trent Richardson being released by the Ravens today, and it's not going to work.
Rolando McClain getting suspended for 10 more games.
And he's gained 40 pounds, and a lot of it is quote unquote because of the purple drink and all this other. You hate to see people go down this path. These are kids. Rolando McClain and Trent Richardson, I know from an Alabama perspective, if you were making an all Saban team, those 2 guys might be on it, and that's saying a lot.
Well, I thought Trent Richardson was the best of all the backs during that era with Eddie Lacy. Obviously, Eddie Lacy was 3rd, and I had Trent Richardson 1st and had Mark Ingram 2nd. I actually thought Trent Richardson probably deserved the Heisman Trophy more than Mark Ingram did.
It could have. It just some of that's about timing, but I think that. And then you look at Trey Mason and the year he had. It's funny. I heard a trivia question on the way into the show here on another program, and one of the questions was name 5 of the 8 players who have scored over 20 touchdowns in a single season in SEC history. You think you could name 5 of them?
5 that have scored 20 or more
In
in
a
a
single
season. Herschel Walker.
No.
Herschel
He
or
never
Bo?
scored 20 touchdowns.
Herschel
in a
or
single
Bo?
season.
Neither one.
Neither one of them.
Okay.
And all of them have happened since 2007.
Wow, that
and
is
2
crazy.
of them, at least 2 of them were quarterbacks. I know Cam Newton and Tim Tebow.
That's right.
I didn't get to hear all the answers, but I know Derrick Henry's one of them. I know Trent Richardson's one of them. I know Trey Mason's one of them.
Well, there's 5.
So there's 5 right there. I don't think Ingram did, but I can't remember right off the top of my head. And so, I mean, it's wild to think Trey Mason's in there. He had, about 1,800 yards rushing?
He just exploded in that 2013 season and broke the SEC championship game rushing record. Really, I mean, as far as what he was able to do that season, he broke Bo Jackson's single season rushing record at Auburn. He's etched himself in the history books, not only at Auburn but in the SEC, and it's sad to see. There's something going on. It's almost going back to Johnny Manziel. I don't think any of us really like Johnny Manziel. He's done a lot of bad things, but it's gone past a certain point where this kid's got problems, and if it doesn't correct itself, or he doesn't find some real help, or he doesn't get serious about seeking some real help, we all know what the end result's going to be.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely. And same thing with Rolando McClain has had some other issues. I mean, Trent Richardson's has
Rolando McClain has just gone totally off the deep end since he's gone into the pros.
I mean, he's obviously, I feel like there's some kind of abuse, some kind of vice that he has. I don't want to comment on it too much, but there's something that is contributing to all this. And he grew up in a tough area, and I think that the best he ever acted was at Alabama. He needed all that discipline badly, and he got it. And then you get to the NFL sometimes, and some of that stuff some of the money, some of the stuff can go to your head.
Well, talking about that, we'll move into another part that we wanted to talk about. Last Chance U on Netflix. East Mississippi Community College over in Scuba, Mississippi. 719 is the population of that small little town in Mississippi, and if you have Netflix, I encourage you, obviously, if you're a football fan, to watch this. It's
how many episodes is it?
I think there's 6 out right now.
Okay.
So, but the bottom line is that it shows you an array of top-notch athletes that have gone there either because they couldn't get it done at a Division I college, grades-wise, and had to step back and then are trying to make it back there, or their grades weren't good enough out of high school, so they come straight there. But they're all 4- and 5-star prospects on this team. They're going for that record, obviously in this series of the most consecutive wins. A little spoiler alert, because we followed that team last year. They were going for their 3rd consecutive national championship. They were eliminated by fighting in a game later on in the season. And they went on to go undefeated, but they were ineligible to go to the playoffs because of the fighting. Well, the team they were playing was terrible, so a lot of people think they got set up. And the coach on there kind of alludes to, I'm not trying to be a spoiler here, but he kind of says you fell for the trap. You got brought in, and you didn't have to do that, and you ruined a great opportunity at making history, and now you got to live with it. And if this is what I got to put up with, then I'd rather just go find another job. I'm not going to be privy to this guy. It's pretty deep, and you're looking at these guys, and Auburn's got a direct interest in this because John Franklin III is one of the quarterbacks on this team, and the other guy that kind of got the starting nod, you can tell there's nowhere even close athletic-wise between the two. And the rumor was, Luke, and I don't know this to be a fact, but the rumor is that there was a deal cut that John Franklin III, we're going to send him there, and it's more about the star power of him going from Florida State to there, but we don't want you playing him a lot at quarterback over here because we don't want him getting hurt. Now, I don't know if that's a deal that was worked out with Auburn. I know personally that's happened before with players that go to junior college. 4-year coaches say, I want him coming to you, but I'm going to put stipulations on what you do with him and how you play him. Sometimes coaches go, well, you need to find another junior college because if he comes here, he's going to play for me. Others go, okay, because I'll take that kid and I'll do what you tell me to do. And another example, I'm not going to name the team out here, I know that there was another example of that in high school in Alabama with a star player that went to Alabama, not going to name a name, but he was definitely not being played in the right position on his high school football team and could have really made that team dynamic. But you could tell that there was some influence from the Alabama coaching staff saying, you're going to play him where I want you to play him because he's a 5-star prospect and he's coming to us next year and I don't want him to get hurt. So, it happens. It's part of the game. A lot of people have questioned, why does John Franklin III not start for this team? Well, you look at the athletic ability in this series, and you can tell it's not even close. But there may be something to that, so we don't know.
I can't wait to watch it because I'm going to tell you everything that you just told me is, I would say, I haven't heard anything down the middle that I've heard a lot of, and from Auburn boards, Alabama boards, regular national boards, that, oh my gosh, John Franklin ain't the answer. We better do something else. And I've heard other people say, boy, you can really see a difference in these two guys, and I'm so excited. There's nothing in the middle, and so I can't wait to just make the judgment for myself.
Well, you can, and the other kid is a very good quarterback. I mean, it's not and he stepped it up, and you got to believe what you want to believe when a coach is talking, especially on a documentary like this. And but again, I didn't see, and again, I've only watched 2 episodes, so I don't know the full. I don't know what's going to happen. I used a little bit of that knowledge based off what we knew from last year and a coach that I met on the sideline at a high school football game in the playoffs who was part of that staff that kind of gave the rundown. And I'll give his take real quick, Luke. His take on John Franklin III is there was, before this show came out and anybody really knew who he was, he said he's the fastest guy I've ever watched. He's the fastest athlete, probably the most natural. And then even the coach in this documentary said he's got all the tools in the world. But there's a reason why he might not have been starting. Was it because some coaches told him to hold him out? Or is it because he wasn't as good as that other quarterback? I don't know. I'll make my judgment when I finish the series too. So, and I think a lot we'll find out about.
I can't wait to watch it. I mean, it was actually on what Dan Lepetard's show today. They were talking about just intriguing. They were talking more about the coach because they had so many blowouts, and the coach is a real interesting character.
And he will not let off the gas. It doesn't matter how bad he's beating you.
Yeah, and there's something to that. I mean, some people think there's a little bit about sportsmanship. In this day and age, I've seen too many comebacks. I'll tell you, one of the greatest games that ESPN just showed, their top 25 games from last year, was that TCU-Oregon game in the bowl game where Oregon was up 31-0 at the half. TCU comes back and wins.
That's unbelievable.
Again, it comes to me, and people can say bowl games don't matter, and I get all that. But it sure mattered to TCU, and I think it matters to that program and that branding of that program.
I think, Luke, if you put a helmet on, or you go on the baseball field, or you go on the basketball court, and you're an athlete, and you got that competitive nature, and you're getting your tail whipped 31-0, you can go one of 2 routes. You can tuck tail and go away, or you can have some pride about yourself, and you can fight back. And a lot of times that competitive edge, no matter how bad you played in the first half, you go to that locker room, you get a rejuvenation. You say, I'm going to go out and try this again. We may not win. I think you saw that with Auburn LSU in 2013. Auburn goes down there. They have a couple bad things that happen early. They lose their top receiver to an injury. It's a mess down there. LSU's kind of laying it to them. Auburn hadn't won an SEC game in 2 years. It's more like, well, here we go again. They went to the locker room, and if Auburn would have had 10 more minutes in that game, they probably would have won the game. But that really set the benchmark for the rest of the season for Auburn. I think everybody agrees on that. They could have folded and gotten beat 49-0 by LSU, but they came back and lost 35-21, and they fought back. If you're a competitor, there's part of you in there. It doesn't matter what's on the line, whether it just be a meaningless bowl game or the national championship game. You're gonna come out and try to show that you got a lot more to you than rolling over and playing dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and watch that tonight if I can stay awake.
Yeah, I don't binge watch it. I know Netflix. It's hard not to. I watched the first 2 last night and I couldn't take it no more, even though I really wanted to keep it going. But we got 2 great teams coming up right here at the end of the show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, they'll be on again. We didn't get to the NFL preseason or the first weekend of college football, but the good thing about it is we can talk about that next year.
Got to save a little something.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR's and SNS Tire right after this.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process, from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience providing a wide array of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and garden products. Our employees' superior product knowledge and top-notch customer service allows us to help select the best products that will work for you. We provide free product estimates and takeoffs, free local delivery, and ask about our price match promise. Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply. Experience and knowledge from the pros.
Excitement awaits you on beautiful Lake Martin. Alex City Guide Service can provide you with a charter trip of a lifetime. Licensed charter guide David Hare has over 20 years of experience on Lake Martin, specializing in live bait fishing for trophy-sized saltwater striped bass, largemouth bass, and spotted bass. Call Alex City Guide Service today at 256-401-3089 or visit them online at www.alexcityguideservice.com.
Choosing a mattress should be simple. You just pick springs or foam. Springs or foam? Why not both? Half springs, half foam. A hybrid from Sealy with extra core support in the place you need it most. See? It is simple. The Sealy Posturepedic Premier Hybrid. It's the best of both for your best sleep yet.
24-month financing available on select models. Only at Holly's Home Furnishings.
At the Medicine Shop, we're dedicated to the idea that quality pharmacy care means more than just prompt prescriptions. When you come to the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, you'll be able to count on dependable care from a knowledgeable pharmacist. The Medicine Shop is the only compounding pharmacy in the area, and we offer the shingles vaccine year-round. Bring your prescriptions by the drive-thru on Airport Drive in Alex City, or input them online at www.medicineshop.com, or call them at 256-215-8014. The Medicine Shop, caring beyond prescriptions.
Gotta get to Gill's Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gill's. Selection and price, got to get to Gill's. Gotta get to Gill's.
Did you know that Gill's Auto Sales now features the Prestige Selection at their North Lake and Opelika locations? Gill's Auto Sales now has over 100 Prestige vehicles in stock. Newer models, low mileage with bank financing available. Come see the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales North Lake location and their new Opelika location. Gotta get to Gill's.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Back into the Show You Colors event here live on location in Strand Park, right outside of JR Sports Bar and Grill. We encourage you to come out and support this wonderful event the Alexander City Chamber has put on for us. And again, this has been over 60 events in a week-long period, and we couldn't be more excited about it. It could be 80, but I think it's 60 events on there, just making sure on that. But we've had a great show here so far. We had the opportunity to talk to the coaches from the Central Clay team, as well as some of their players, introduce the Benjamin Russell cheerleading squad to the community. And now what we'll do is bring in Coach Franklin, the head coach here for the Horseshoe Bend Generals, and a few of his players here, a couple of his players rather. So, Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thank y'all for having us tonight.
Yeah, so again, this is kind of when all the preparations and what things have been going on from the spring all the way through the weight program through the summer. This is when it starts to really get things prepared, and you're starting to prepare for week one. So can you just revisit a little bit of what went on through the spring and how the summer has been going so far?
Well, we had a great spring. We played a team that's coming into our region, Fayetteville, the Fayetteville Wolves, in our spring game and come out victorious. But it's spring, and you just want to take the positives from the spring game and see what you can build off, and kind of look at your weaknesses and see if you can improve those over the summertime in the weight room and all your position work and on the field time that you get in the summertime. So you're trying to really fix those problem areas and improve on your strengths as you go through the summer and coming into the first day of practice on Monday.
And you bring up the word strengths, and from the spring now and kind of from what you know from last season, what would you say some of the strengths are heading into the fall?
Well, we're much further ahead in our skill position area this year. I think that's going to be our strong point, is our skill players. Our running back area should be a strength, and our receiver area should be a strength. Plus, with our quarterback coming back, and again this year being able to return a starter there that got a lot of game experience last year and a lot of reps, that's a positive. Anytime you don't have to replace a guy that is making the calls for your offense is a big deal.
Yeah, and again, that's something that, regardless of the attention that a program may be getting, when you're able to bring back a returning player, especially in that position, I think that only bodes well for the success of the team. And when you speak of the success of the team, there have been some lumps there, but if you really have followed the program, especially since you've been here, the win-loss record doesn't necessarily indicate the progress that has been made and the type of team that you do have. And so I at least from my perspective, I do want to relay that this is one of the most hard-working teams that you'll find. The scores and the record doesn't necessarily indicate that all the time.
Last year our record didn't turn out the way we wanted it, but we were in a lot of football games. One play here, there, a few games, and that's something we've worked on this year is finishing and making sure that those things don't haunt us this year. The little things of drop punts, costly penalties at certain time periods, drop passes. I mean, it's a number of things, a blown coverage here or there, and things could be so much different last year. But, it is what it is. That's why you play the game. That's why you turn the lights on Friday nights, and that's why, both teams put in the work during the week. And sometimes that funny-shaped ball bounces your way, and sometimes it doesn't. And, what we tell our guys is you got to get up and you got to refocus, and you got to get at the task at hand and go back out there and get after it, And sooner or later, those breaks will come your way. Not every year do they come your way, but the next year could be your year for them to fall your way. I'm proud of where we've taken the program. We've done, tremendous upgrades there. We've won some ball games over the year. We improved from where I took over the previous 5 years. People don't remember back that far, but they had won 5 games in the 5 previous years before me taking over. And we hadn't been consistent win total every year, but we have to rebuild at a small school and every year, and that's a little bit more difficult than you see at your 6 and 7A schools where they can just reload. They don't have to rebuild. If we lose a big senior class, it may take us 2 or 3 years to regroup that again and get that kind of talent back again. So, small schools come in cycles. People don't always realize that, but 2A school where we're dressing about 37, 38 kids, if you have a class that's got 10 or 12 guys in there, it takes a few years to get that back, and especially if you've got a real dominant player, like we did a few years ago in Corey Battle. He was a tremendous athlete for us, and it takes another few years to get one. And I think we've got one sitting up here with us tonight that has a chance to be, one of the best to ever put on a Horseshoe Bend jersey for us.
Well, that'll be a good transition for us. Why don't you guys give an opportunity to introduce yourself right here?
I'm Drew Hill.
I'm Brandon Hurd. All right, and Drew, again, you're somebody who has been a part of the Horseshoe Bend program for a while, and so now we're just talking about the success of the program and not necessarily weighing in on wins and losses, but the progress that you guys have been making. So from a player standpoint, how do you guys address that and hopefully be able to make the adjustments to get you guys over the hump to really start winning on a consistent level?
Well, Coach Franklin is the best football coach I've ever been coached by, and he pushes me to my limits every day. And he pushes all of us to our limits, and he just makes sure that everything is in line and every play is perfect, and every play is perfect. Then we gain yards, we gain touchdowns, we gain wins.
Yeah, and
he's very consistent about keeping us in line.
And that's a key word there, the consistency there. But you're, again, coming back you're as a returning starter, there's already a leadership quality about you at that point. But at the position you play in particular, do you feel any added pressure or feel that there's anything you need to do specifically to ensure that you guys are successful?
Well, I've been working a lot on my conditioning and trying to stay in shape, and I've been working a lot on my blocking for my receivers when I get out in the flats for them. And I'm just working hard every day in the weight room and sprinting and all the conditioning work. Everything's been there, and the leadership role has been there since I was in 9th grade. It's just something I like to do and I like to take, and I just take it and go.
Yeah, and again, before we shift over a little bit, just can you talk a little bit about the general pride? And so even though no matter who you speak to throughout the week, when you're speaking to people within the community, they're always excited to talk to you about football, and that applies to the Lake Martin area as a whole. But in particular, when you're talking to people from Newside and the surrounding area, they talk about how they're going to be there on Friday to support their team. So can you talk a little bit about the support the community has showed through these times?
Oh, yes, sir. Our support is crazy. We have countless number of fans always packed out at home, and even crazy far away game, just every fan just shows up and yells their heart out and just is always there for us. And they're always just cheering on no matter what, win or loss. They always have our backs, and they're always just there to get us through the next day.
Gotcha. So we'll transition over again, and we'll ask you the same thing. Kind of what are your expectations for this year's season coming back up? Hopefully a building block from last year, and then the things you guys have been putting in through the spring and the summer program. What are your expectations for this fall?
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to win more games this year. We're working a little bit more harder this year. We got some more guys that's going to come out and play their heart out. We got Coach Franklin. He's pushing us harder than last year. He's wanting us to win more games. We got to come together as a team and not be individuals. We got to just build up together and be a team.
And that does sound like something that a coach would try to instill into his team. And so, again, coming back, when you talk about getting some more players out, is that sometimes troubling when you maybe don't have the players out that should be playing, and so now you have some guys that maybe haven't played before, and now you have the opportunity to maximize the roster?
Is there?
Yeah, so again, just talk a little bit more about the spring and the summer and how that's been for you as a player, how you guys did in the spring, and how the summer workout program has been going.
Well, our spring game went great. We got to do a little bit better on our blocking and stuff. We got to learn our plays a little bit more better. We had some bangs in here and there. I mean, we got to be able to tackle more. We got to know our positions and stuff, like our angles, how we need to get there.
I got you. All right. Well, we're really excited about it. Every week I looked at the scores, and again, it's obviously everybody wants to win games. I don't want to play it to that way, but when you're looking at it and you're seeing the scores and you read and you actually see how the game played out, and it may be a 14-point loss, but don't necessarily know that maybe you were up 6 points going into the fourth quarter and something happened. So I just hope people in the viewing area understand that this team can't be equated to their win-loss record. And if they continue to work, I think you're going to see that continue. And I've seen the stats that can be put up. And Coach, too, I just want to ask you this. I know there's been a shift in some areas from who's in the area and who's not from a football standpoint and around all sports. But who are some teams that maybe weren't in the area last year that have been added to the schedule now?
Yeah, we lost Randolph County. They were a semifinal team last year in 2A, and they moved up to 3A. And we were in 7-team region last year, so we're going into an 8-team region, and we picked up Vincent and Fayetteville, which will come over into our region to make it an 8-team region now. So that – it's good and bad in the sense. Last year, the last 2 years previous, it was bad because it was tough to pick up a game in that open week we had when you played a fall jamboree. And being our first time going through it, it was kind of a learning curve for all coaches. And we kind of fell in there and we had to pick up for Elmore County. So, that was a tough pickup. And, but it is what it is. You learn, new system for most coaches, and we kind of had to fill it out and learn. But it really helped coming back into an 8-team region. Made it scheduling so much tremendously more easy for coaches to do when you only have to pick up 3 games. You only have to schedule. And the Wadley game, it's a given. You don't have to worry about that one. So just being able as a coach to only have to worry about scheduling 2 games made things so much easier this year. Overall, I like the region, the way it sets up. You know, we got some tough competition. Region 5 is a juggernaut. I mean, it's tough in that region. You know, you've going to have perennial quarterfinal, semifinal teams, even teams playing in the state championship every year. So, you know, every week you got to strap it up in that region and be ready to play and bring your A game every week.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming up here to our somewhat of a media day. That's what we've tried to turn it into now, and we really appreciate you guys coming up, and good luck to you guys this fall, and look forward to seeing all the things you guys are able to accomplish. We'll go ahead and take another break. When we return, we'll have more of the Show Your Colors event here live in Strand Park as a part of the Sun Festival event hosted by the Alex City Chamber.
If you currently have an FHA mortgage, this commercial is for you. Most people that currently have an FHA mortgage are working with Home Place Mortgage to refinance their current loan. Several items have changed to make now the perfect time to refinance. FHA has reduced the amount of monthly mortgage insurance. Current interest rates for FHA loans are at all-time lows. FHA has eliminated the need for new appraisal. Most people will be able to refinance with little or no closing costs. This is the opportunity that you have been waiting for. Call now to start saving.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
My parents got good news the other day. Mommy and Daddy were really happy. This is how happy they were. They were actually dancing. That was hard to watch. Whew, at least they didn't kiss.
Russell Medical Center, delivering future leaders of tomorrow today.
We are Steel, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why steel is #1 in America at steelusa.com.
Find your Steel outdoor products and more at the new Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Now's the time to make a splash during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Get incredible summer savings on our entire inventory. Save over $10,000 on a great selection of new 2016 Ram trucks. Thinking about a Jeep? Bice has the Lake Martin area's largest selection of Jeep Renegades, Patriots, Compass, Cherokees, and Grand Cherokees, all priced to move.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Auburn Opelika has that perfect something for you. From sophisticated chic boutiques to exceptional dining, there's a retailer or restaurant to make your next visit special. Whether it's elegant fine dining or freshly squeezed lemonade, you'll find the perfect fit for every taste and budget. The food's great and the shopping is too, so be sure to check out the wide array of gifts, decor, clothing, and more. For every occasion, Auburn Opelika has what you're looking for. Let's make your next trip memorable. Visit Auburn Opelika.
Over the years, SNS Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. SNS Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at SNS offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, SNS offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At SNS Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
Mayoral candidate Mark Lamborn is a civically active Alexander City native and 30-year business owner. Lamborn understands Alex City and what must be done to provide residents with quality municipal services in an efficient and courteous manner, and to enhance quality of life through planning and visionary leadership. Mark Lamborn has a vision for Alexander City to be a world-class, vibrant, and progressive city where citizens feel safe, enjoy their neighborhoods, and have access to city government. Mark Lamborn, the right man at the right time for a step in the right direction.